Приветствую всех, меня зовут Павел, продолжаем проходить Premonition. И нам надо отправляться, время какое-нибудь 3 часа уже, в общественный центр, потому что Йорк хотел сделать там какое-то заявление. Давайте смотреть, что там и как. Общественный центр Гринвилл, театр Меркурий.
Greenvale Community Center. Now that's an impressive building. The clock tower is impressive too. Zach, I haven't been on stage like this since elementary school. I'm not some tree in the wind this time either. Well, that was a tough role. That was a piece of scenery. Bright red tree.
Thank you all for coming today. Getting right down to business. Agent Morgan from the Federal Bureau of Investigations wishes to speak with you.
Good afternoon. I'm Special Agent Francis York Morgan. Some of you are already aware by now of the tragic murder of Anna Graham. Truly a heinous, terrible crime. I've come to this town to solve the murder of this young, beautiful girl, and to bring the one responsible to justice. Unfortunately, incidents like these have a tendency to happen again. I asked to have you gathered here so I can share some advice in order to minimize the risk of further fatal incidents. Firstly, please, stay away from any dark, dangerous, isolated places. Those of you with children, especially of Anna's age, please guide your children away from such places at all costs. Secondly, avoid going out when it is raining. Now, I've heard the folklore story of the raincoat killer. There is a chance that the murderer is mimicking the story. Women should also be especially careful. I would hate to see more victims.
Так вот и новый подозреваемый. Кэрол Маклин, хозяйка бара и певица. Если кто, кстати, задается вопросом, что за муха летает над Йорком, так это
Who's the fashionably late one?
That's Carol, Thomas's sister. She owns a bar.
Thomas's sister.
Получил достижение грязну, я так понимаю, поэтому там летает муха над ним.
Excuse me. So, as I have said, avoid going outside when it is raining. Young women should be especially careful. Report anything or anyone suspicious immediately. The murderer will be caught and brought to justice. But you must all remain on guard until we do so. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Что за старик такой? Он явно имеет к этому какое-то отношение. Ну какое? Он явно не убийца.
When paying for our sins, we must not frown. The loss of Anna was for that debt. When purple fog covers our town, will all wander in hell, I fret. So says Mr. Stewart.
Sure knows how to steal thunder.
Well then, Zach, let's ask some questions before all these guys leave.
Да, видите, надо мной летает куча мух. Я, кстати, не видел, где можно было бы помыться здесь.
Quite a performance. Mysterious and very poetic. But I don't think many of your audience appreciated it.
Mr. Francis York Morgan, the purple fog appears with rain, soiling and ruining our town. The evil does not drain. Find out why the town is soiled. Remove the source from which it boiled. Then and only then your case is solved. But for this to happen, to solve the crime, the proper must do the proper at the proper time. It is not yet mine, that is, Mr. Stewart's time, not mine. But if you, Mr. York, find the right timing to chat with me, that is, with Mr. Stewart, may that be. Informative and fruitful you will see. So says Mr. Stewart.
So, Harry, you know something. But there's some reason why you can't tell me yet. Is that what you're trying to say?
Cut the poetic rubbish, Harry, and tell us what you know. We can force you to talk, you know.
Mr. Francis York Morgan, pay close attention to the signs, the omens, and the premonitions. Small they may be, they still are finds, and helpful to your investigations. So says Mr. Stewart.
Thanks for the warning, Harry. But don't worry. Me and Zach, we know what we're doing.
Надо будет к ним все-таки сходить, помыться, искать место это где-то. Так, лучше не смотреть на нее слишком пристально.
Agent York, are you finished asking questions yet? When you're done, let me know. We'll all get dinner.
Я, кстати, понял, что мне надо с ними ужинать в полицейском участке. И что еще я решил, так это, что все интересные поездки я, пожалуй... Ну, поездки, в которых не происходит чего-то интересного, сюжетного или просто любопытного, я буду, пожалуй, вырезать, чтобы на это все дело не смотреть.
Agent York, your words really made me think about Anna's death again. How could one do such a terrible thing? I'm still in shock.
Thomas, I forgot to ask. You don't have a tattoo on your back, do you?
Tattoo? I do, actually. But why?
Could you show it to me, please?
What? Now? Here?
Yes, please. This is vital for our investigation.
Okay. If it's gonna help you any.
Что еще за тату у него на спине?
Well, I'm wondering who G is now, but aside from that...
Did it tell you anything?
It told me that you didn't kill Anna.
Of course not. What are you saying?
You ought to see that tattoo, Zach. A big heart with an arrow through it and Love G in the center.
I don't know when he got that done, but we've all been through the 80s.
Да, это больше хохма. Так. Что с тобой?
Agent Morgan, here's your chance to get to know some of the townsfolk. Don't let it go to waste.
Здесь меня интересует, нету места, где можно помыть Йорка. Потому что меня самого эти мухи немного напрягают, если честно. Нет, увы. Ладно, когда выберемся отсюда, надо тут же будет это сделать. Потому что их уже, по-моему, скоро 3 начнет летать. Погода не имеет отношения к делу. Нам, кстати, я заметил, пока Йорк рассказывал, показали того, помните, повара из кафе, которого я подозреваю, если честно, в первую очередь. Уж очень он совпадает с тем, кто нам нужен. Прям очень. Так, с ними, понимаю, они мне не нужны особо. Да, конечно, лучший шанс познакомиться с жителями города, когда вокруг тебя летает куча мух. Так, где у нас все? Вот тут у нас кто стоит? Кэрол, кстати, вот. Я собирался в предыдущей серии, но все-таки решил в этой съездить в дом, где живет некая Кэрол, потому что, помните, курьер К? С ней поговорите, она сама сюда пришла. Это очень-очень хорошо. Дива сама себе начальник в ее-то возрасте, весьма впечатляющий по характеру, она полная противоположность своего брата.
Anna was an airhead.
What do you mean? Are you saying she was killed because she was an airhead? Or are you saying that she was an airhead for being killed?
I'm sure she's still an airhead even in heaven. She changed her hair every day. If she lost a pound, she'd be ecstatic. Gain one and she'd almost be in tears. She broke many, many plates every day at the diner, and she'd always have a smile on her face. Always having fun. Everyone looked at her and knew she was a cute, adorable, loving airhead. But they would be smiling right along with her. I wouldn't be surprised if the angels smiled with her too.
Isaac and Isaiah said that Anna was a fairy of the forest, a goddess.
Она куда-то пошла. А ну стоять. Ты так просто отпустишь, Йорк? Она же явно что-то знает. Тем более нам нужно получить от нее информацию для Бейки. Эмили Уайт. Томас. Она ушла, что ли, с концами? Походу, да. Она ушла с концами. Ладно, идем дальше. Здесь у нас кто? Подозреваемый. Саспект, кстати, в предыдущей серии перепутал. Это не следователь, а подозреваемый. Это тоже подозреваемый. Послушаем, что он скажет.
Good evening, Agent.
Бессонный Брайан, магичек.
Good evening, Mr.
Brian, the gravekeeper. Brian.
Mr. Bryan. I like the retro look. Auditioning for Little Grave on the Prairie?
Anna. Oh, she was so beautiful. Too soon. Too soon to go to the grave. So sad. So sad.
I totally agree. That's why I'm here, looking for the one who did it. Were you close to her?
Anna, her smile, so warm. Anna, blonde hair, so bright.
There's a graveyard somewhere in town, Zach. I'm not excited about the idea, but maybe we should at least check it out.
Хорошая идея, но что-то как-то, кстати, все не особо разговорчивые. Надеюсь, это не из-за того, что я не Буся. Вернее, Йорк.
You're York, right? I'm Richard Dunn, the owner of the darts bar, Swery 65.
Ричард Дан, хозяин дартс-бара.
How'd you like the town?
Oh, it's great. Aside from the murder that happened here.
Yep. I mean, murder just doesn't fit with a small town like ours.
Well, Richard, I'll have to correct you on that. Crimes don't care about size. Big town, small town, just isn't a factor.
I guess you're right.
So, how did you know Anna?
I've known her since she was a child. She was the same age as my son. You know, she always stood out, being pretty and all, just like her mother, Sally.
What do you know about Sally?
Well, I went all through school with her right here in town. I never thought our children would be the same age.
I don't see her here today.
Ah, well, see, she lost her husband, and this time it's her daughter. She's at home right now, trying to make peace with it all.
You seem to know a lot. How long have you been in love with her?
Hey, don't go there. That scar of yours tells me you got your hands full too, right? Let's not dive into personal matters. It'll be better for you and me.
You're right, Richard. Collecting gossip won't help with the matter at hand.
Ну-ка, Ричард, с тобой еще не закончил. Так как же на тебя навестись что-то на него? Не наводится как-то.
I'm FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan.
So Anna was killed. But why does that bring the FBI here?
Квин Дан, сотрудник дартс-бара. Я так понимаю, это его сын.
I have an interest in murder cases involving young women.
Well, you know, man, this might just be another case to you. But it means the death of a friend to me. I don't want you taking this lightly like it's just another case.
I never take anything of this nature lightly, I assure you. I'm here to apprehend the perpetrator who did this.
Yeah, because local enforcement can't shine their own boots, right?
Good point. You can't always count on the police now, can you? But that doesn't mean you're going to capture the perpetrator yourself. Quint.
How do you know my name?
I memorized the name of every citizen before arriving in town. I also know about you and your significant other.
You mean Becky?
Don't underestimate the FBI. We know and see everything.
I'm sorry if I was a little harsh. I want to help, I do. Okay?
Okay, Zach, I'll tell you how I knew his name. He's got a small Q on his hat. That was the only name beginning with Q that I could think of. He was even kind enough to tell us his girlfriend's name. I can read him like a book, Zach.
Так, рассказывай, парень. Все, я не могу с вами больше поговорить. Это странно. Ну да ладно. У нас еще куча подозреваемых. Хватит, думаю, на половину серии, как минимум. На вид его возраст не определишь.
Agent York, you make any progress?
Of course, plenty. Tell me, Usha, when is Anna's funeral?
That's still undecided. Sally isn't really in any condition to do it right now.
Her mother? I don't see her here.
Anna was her sole reason for living after her husband was deceased. Well, she's probably huddled up at home.
And I should probably take some time to pay her a visit.
Well, yes, you should. And I'd appreciate it if you could, too. But don't go too hard on her, okay?
Видимо, рановато начал это все дело. С побочным заданием.
Are you getting closer to catching the murderer?
Hello again, Fiona. Good to see you here.
Well, Dr. Johnson told me to be here. He said it would be important.
Well, that was good advice. He may be young, but he seems like a wise man.
Oh, and he's a very hard-working person, too. Everyone thinks he's some kind of weirdo, but I don't think so at all. People don't understand why he's in the autopsy room all day, but I do. He's doing research to make the world a better place in the future. You know, he already made a fortune in LA with his career.
I did not know that.
You didn't? Oh, the doctor is a very rich man. He has a really big house over by the lake.
Amazing, Zach. He must be loaded. Rich and young. A perfect combination.
But you don't get that feeling from him at all, do you? He doesn't show it. That's one of the things I like best about him.
Well, I could have been fooled if it weren't for you. Thanks for the valuable information, Fiona.
Это случаем не Бекки особняк, где мы были тоже уже. Напоминает из первого Left 4 Dead.
So you're the FBI agent, are you?
Генерал, хозяин склада металлолома.
I'm FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan.
I'm the general. I fought for my country in the Vietnam War.
A real-life war hero. So why are you living here?
Soldier, this is my hometown. After a man returns from war, there's no place to go other than his hometown. Your little speech, you mentioned the raincoat killer.
Was that a problem?
You imbecile. The raincoat killer's no myth, not mere folklore, not a fairy tale. It's based on actual events that happened in this town.
It is. I'm interested. Can you tell me more about this?
Мне тоже любопытно.
You kids today don't even know how to ask for something right. Soldier, if you want to hear more, you come to my office.
He literally exudes raw power, Zach. Despite the credibility issues, we should give him a visit.
One thing, though. Calls himself a general, but isn't that a sergeant's uniform?
У нас куча побочных заданий набирается вообще. Меня это безусловно радует, как и сама игра. Просто как сериал. Надеюсь, и вас тоже.
Can you tell me if you noticed anything strange about Anna before the incident?
Well, I'm not sure if this will be of any help, but...
Anything, no matter how small, could be of help.
Well, you see, the diner closes when it rains. Many shops do that around here, as you might have heard. Anyway, Anna always seemed unfocused the day after it rained, and came in late, too. It was almost as if she used up all her energy the day before. Come to think of it, that was really strange. Did that legendary monster really kill her?
It wasn't a monster. Just a criminal. Criminal I'm going to catch and bring to justice.
Любопытно. Так, кто у меня главный подозреваемый, парниш?
I'm U.S. Special Agent Francis York Morgan. I presume you are the owner of the diner that Anna worked at?
That's right.
Ник Кормак, хозяин закусочной.
I'd like to ask you a few questions about Anna Graham. Did you notice anything strange about her prior to the incident? Nick, are you hiding something?
No, nothing.
You're sure?
I'm sorry, but I don't like repeating myself.
Ты только усилил подозрения насчет тебя, Ник. Это как его из Железного человека, актера, как его звали-то, который играл этого помощника Тони Старка, напарника. Блин, забыл. Очень похож на него персонаж, на этого актера.
I'm FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan. Please, call me York.
Wesley, owner of the gun store called Panda Bear. People around here call me the gunsmith.
Уэсли оружейник, хозяин оружейного магазина.
Was there something you want to ask me?
How do you make a living running a gun store in a place like this? I'd be worried because there can't be that many customers.
Worry gives a small thing a big shadow. I do gunsmith work in my shop, too. If you got the skills, the customers find you. All you need is a network.
I hope so.
Вот что у меня есть. Мне бы дробовик. Потому что патронов у меня к нему есть, а самого дробовика нету.
You've got quite a selection here. No wonder people come from all around.
Even today, a customer paid me to go to Seattle for some help. I just got back.
I see. Well, I'll be sure to visit your store sometime. I'd like for you to take a look at my gun.
Understood. Look forward to it. The shop will be open again tomorrow. It's usually open from 2000 to 0600. See you then.
Так, вы кто?
You're Isaac and Isaiah's mother?
Yes, I'm Lily.
Леди Игорь, жена Кита. Кита, так понимаю, стоит рядом с ней.
I'm FBI Special Agent...
Agent York, right?
You are good.
The handsome special agent from the big city. The facial scar trademark. The way you introduce yourself. Everyone's talking about you.
Well, I can't say much about the scar. But the way I introduce myself, Zach and I consider it a kind of ritual of sorts. Everyone has their own rituals. It's like always leaving the house left foot first. It's one of those things.
You certainly are a funny one.
So, have you noticed anything strange or out of place recently?
Well, Becky's been taking a couple of days off from work, but aside from that, I heard she was in shock after the murder. But...
You think there's something else?
Well, I took the boys along to see her today. She's always so kind to them, and they love seeing her too. But she took in the boys and told me to wait outside. Something about a special secret between just the three of them. I just couldn't understand it.
Now that's interesting. Thank you, Lily. Perhaps we should give Becky a visit tomorrow, Zach.
Теперь определенно у меня есть более серьезный разговор к Бекке.
Yeah! Hey there, FBI. I'm Keith Ingram.
Keith Ingram, хозяин магазина Milk. Burn.
FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan. Please, call me York. That's what everyone always calls me.
Okay, York. No problem, man.
So, Keith, I hear you run the Milk Barn convenience store.
That's right, man. Rock and roll!
Do you sell raincoats there by any chance?
Yeah, but nobody ever buys them, though. Anyone who wears one of them, I say, just ain't a rocker. But you know, that scar of yours, now that scar rocks.
This scar rocks? Now that's a new one. I'll drop by your store soon, and let's talk then.
Yeah, cool, man. Rock on, FBI!
Тоже какого-то актера мне напоминает, но не помню, как его зовут. Тут на языке вертится, вспомнить не могу. Так, Поле. Вот это явно не подозрение.
Mr. Morgan, you're quite an impressive public speaker.
Really? Thank you, Polly.
You reminded me a little of a play I saw when I was younger.
What kind of play?
I'm talking about back when this place was still called the Mercury Theater. When I was young, I used to come here often with my husband. God rest his soul. We'd come on the weekend to see the latest play. He'd always pretend to be uninterested, but I could tell he was excited inside. He was just one of those kind of guys, really, thinking about it now.
Really, Polly? So what's your favorite play?
Oh, well, I like so many. There was one in particular, but I can't recall the name anymore. Oh, it was a very famous one, too.
Something by Shakespeare?
Oh, no, nothing. One more bell that doesn't ring anymore. I've always been forgetful about the plays we used to see anyway. Oh, and my husband would get angry at me for forgetting what we saw. He'd go on for hours retelling what the play was about. His eyes were so sparkling, like a happy young boy.
I see. So, what's your favorite play?
Oh, I almost forgot, Mr. Morgan. We're going to have another guest soon. I have to get back and get things ready.
Sorry for having to hurry away. I'll see you back at the hotel.
Zach, I think she could embarrass the toughest of the FBI's interrogators. She successfully avoided answering my question, Zach. Amazing.
Йорк, что с твоим пиджаком? Почему он сломался? Дичь. Ох и дичь. Кстати, я думаю, на новопостояльце не зря сделали акцент. Надо будет по поводу этого разузнать. Но у нас сейчас просто куча мест, куда надо будет сходить после всего вот этого. Ты в туалет хочешь?
My pot is getting cold.
Бродяжка сегодня, правящая дама с кастрюлей.
Hey, mister, my pot is getting cold.
You are... who?
What are you saying? I'm Sigourney. Sigourney.
Sigourney. Okay. Now, what is the matter? Can you explain?
No time for chatting. I need to hurry. My pot is getting colder. Oh, you're useless.
Zach, we've met all sorts today, but really, she takes the cake. Amazing.
Да, все, кто сегодня был, были весьма любопытными. Так, Джим. Ну, такое доброе, спокойное лицо. Интересно, сколько лет он уже присматривает за лесом. Что ты мне можешь сказать?
Jim, thanks for your help in the forest. How are Isaac and Isaiah?
They're fine.
They really seem to love their grandpa.
Well, I guess they do, son. I want to keep them away from the filth of the material world as much as I can. Their mother agrees, which is why she lets me take care of them so often.
And that's why I want you to solve this case quickly and go home. Those rumors about that scar of yours do more damage than good around here.
I guess I reek of the material world, don't I? I have to, in order to do my job. But I understand what you mean.
I'd think the same if I was born in a place like this, Zach.
Но ты в таком месте не родился. А ты кто такая? Это вообще... Это штаны у нее? Нет, это у нее не штаны. А любопытно. У Эмили появилась конкурентка. Хотя Эмили по мне как симпатичнее.
Hey, good looking. Nice speech.
Джина Роза. Жена Джека.
And you are?
Oh, I'm Gina. I'm married to Jack. He runs the gas station. Call me the Rose.
You look pretty... revealing.
Oh, this old thing. Oh, you should see some of my other clothes. You? Oh, now you are cool. That scar really is a turn-on. You should come to my station. I'll give you a little extra service.
That would be great. I can't believe how expensive gasoline is nowadays. Some extra service would be great. Now, about my current case. Do you have any information on Anna? Have you seen anything suspicious?
Oh, I don't know. Talk to my hubby about the difficult stuff, okay?
This is getting us nowhere, Zach.
Так, теперь мы знаем, кто у нас владеет заправкой. Надо будет обязательно на нее заехать. Так, дальше.
I ain't got nothing to tell the cops.
Джек — бешеный бык, хозяин заправки.
What about the FBI?
Shut up!
At least give me your name.
I'm Jack. They call me Raging Bull.
That's a manly nickname.
If you want info, it'll cost you. I only talk to Ben Franklin.
You know, first impressions are important. I can detain you for a few days, and maybe you'll become more fun to meet. Zach, this is a waste of time. Let's go.
Я сомневаюсь, что он убийца.
Agent Morgan, I'd like to let everyone go home now. Let's go outside.
Вроде как мы всех допросили, только почему Джим не уходит? Нет, уже уходит. Так, общее время. Сохранить, разумеется. В этом случае вы можете вызвать патрульный автомобиль. Так вот, что такое вспышка? Я-то думал, что это ослеплять.
Well then, Agent York, do you have any plans for this evening?
I was going to head back to the hotel and go over my notes. I need to contact HQ and give a progress report, too.
Okay, then let's call it a day here.
Sounds good.
Contact my office when you finish your report. We'll pick you up tomorrow morning. Diane, the owner of the art gallery, should be back soon.
All right, then, let's do that.
Hold on, Agent York. We're going out to eat at Nick's Diner. Would you like to come with us?
The diner. That might be nice.
Thomas is a great cook, but Nick is the real deal. No visit to Greenvale is complete without eating at the A&G.
A very appealing proposition. Zach, what do you think? We can always go back to the hotel after eating dinner, or go directly back to the hotel. You decide, Zach.
С ними взяла поужинаем. Раз девушка приглашает, то почему нет? Что-то между ними, мне думается, может быть вполне себе такое.
I've been sheriff here for a long time now, and this is the worst murder I've ever seen.
Our town is a little odd in some ways, but it's usually a peaceful place.
We had our fair share of cases, but just the regular stuff. A high school kid shoplifting from the milk barn, maybe? Or some hot-headed kids fighting, fueled on liquor? Nothing more than that.
Agent York, what kind of cases have you dealt with in the past?
Not much different from those you've just mentioned. The case I was on until last month, well, the guy killed 7 girls in a 3-month period. He sawed their heads off from the neck and took them back to his house. He cleaned the skulls up and used them as utensils in his daily life, to eat from or as a urine cup. He hated women. That was his way of dealing with it. He'd fill skulls with ice, cola, and rum, then he'd down it in one gulp. For him, that was a holy ritual. The question of his mental state was the pivotal point in the court case.
Oh, man.
For me, he was insane. 100%. Drinking from the skulls, well, that is one thing, but those he had used to relieve himself, he would then just use them to drink from, too. Yeah, that was too much for me. It's just not sanitary.
Not sanitary. That's probably not the problem for most of us.
What else? Ah, yes. An ingenious law school student raped over 800 victims. That was a nasty one.
Thank you, Agent York.
Now, let's talk about something else.
You don't want to hear anymore? That's a shame, isn't it, Zach? I was just about to get to the good part, too.
Sounds like you live in a totally different world. I mean, you're like an elite agent who just jumped out from a movie or something. In your eyes, we must look like we're just playing cops and robbers. Ugh, I give up. I can't compete with you.
Don't say that, Emily. The cases you have solved are all full-fledged crimes. A crime is a crime. Size doesn't matter. There is no big and small. Crimes always have a criminal and a victim. No victim will ever welcome a crime, no matter what its size. So, fundamentally, there is no difference in size.
Well said, Agent Morgan. We work day and night to preserve peace and order in this town. You understand that, right?
Of course, but still, I don't view shoplifting and Anna's murder as the same level of crime.
Me neither. I never even dreamt that such a thing could ever even happen in this town. I keep on expecting to see Anna, here in this diner, waiting on tables.
Excuse us, Agent Morgan. We should have made dinner a more uplifting experience. Let's call it a night.
Okay. Good night, then.
Да, интересный получился ужин. Так, время 22. Ну-ка. Минутки, они что там сидят? Или разошлись? Нет, похоже, разошлись. Что сейчас надо делать? Сейчас надо взглянуть на карту и понять, куда нам идти, потому что у нас куча мест. Куда можно пойти, хотел сказать я. Но увидел, что у нас есть какое-то основное задание. Что это такое? Гостиница? Так, что у нас тут еще любопытного? Так, Фрэнсис Ник. Фамилия, где мы уже были. Полицейский участок. Галактика ужаса. Я предлагаю, знаете что, давайте сходим в галактику ужаса. Тем более, что это тут недалеко. Отлично. Может, даже что-нибудь выпьем. Что так понимаю, это бар. Ты тут тоже подрабатываешь заднеприводный? Та работа подходит ему куда лучше, чем быть помощником шерифа.
Hello.
Томас, вы работаете барменом по ночам? Что говорите?
Thomas, something on your mind?
Actually, Agent York, something has been bothering me recently.
Bothering you? How?
Well, there's this customer who always gives Carol trouble.
Is it affecting business?
He probably doesn't mean to, but, well, yes, to answer your question.
You're an officer of the law. Why don't you just arrest him?
Well, you see, he's not exactly breaking the law. No violence. He hasn't physically attacked her or anything.
I understand, Thomas. If it's bothering you, then I'll take care of it.
What? Aren't you busy with the investigation, Agent York?
That won't be a problem. So tell me about this unwanted customer.
Well, he isn't here right now. He usually comes in after 2100.
I'll take a look in from time to time.
Так, нежелательный посетитель. Будем иметь в виду, вот у нас появилось первое побочное задание, которое не связано с основным. Один из посетителей галактики ужаса преследует Кэрол, доставляя ей неудобства. Отвадить нежелательного посетителя, который приходит в бар после 9 вечера. Так, а сейчас, подожди. Сейчас же
Hello.
Так, отечественный медиа, я с тобой поговорить хочу. Выступление моей сестры довольно популярное. Ну ладно,
Hello.
У нас пришли все равно денег до кучи. Пытайтесь забыть о работе и расслабиться. Так, что тут есть? Джин-тоник. Приятный джин-тоник. Позволяет не заснуть в течение долгого времени. Мартини. Позволяет не чувствовать сонливости в течение долгого времени. Экзорцист. Блинчики. Пицца. Давайте съедим, почему нет? Тушеные устрицы. Тыквенные маффины, картофельное пюре, джин-тоник, мартини. Дайте попробовать, что за экзорцист. Мне интересно, прям. Любопытно вообще, что будет. Будет какой-нибудь эффект? Да, сомневаюсь. Люди здесь много пьют, но приходится по большей части за меню. Уже куча мухов, как у меня летает. Что-то Skyfall напоминает, да? Так, надеюсь, меня YouTube не засудит за нее. Что там? Один из постоянных клиентов как-то связан с расследованием. Так, Кэрол, мне с тобой поговорить надо. Кэрол, где вы научились так играть? Это все? Я ничего не знаю об актерской игре. Отстань от меня. В смысле? Дива сама себе начальников. Тоже читали. Педальку возьмем. Так, на сцену я могу подняться? Нет, к сожалению. Дверь в ванную комнату. Да, ведь пока не надо быстро, да? Да нет, вообще-то надо. Сохранимся, кстати, раз уж такое дело. Так, тут что? Мне зачем сюда заходить, ну как скажешь. Это дверь в подсобку. Если мы собираемся выпить, то на барной стойке. Так, может теперь с тобой можно поговорить? Лады. Тогда, ребят, на этом эту серию закончим. Продолжим уже следующую. Поедем. Разговариваем с кучей мест, по которым надо проехать. Плюс еще Йорка надо помыть. Ладно, надеюсь, вам все понравилось. Хотя в этой серии моих комментариев было мало, больше было диалогов между персонажами. Но в этой игре мне это и нравится, потому что много диалогов и, по сути, как будто смотришь сериал. Всем удачи, всем пока.